Korean Peninsula today. South Korea unveiling new cruise missiles with the capability to hit anywhere in North Korea. This as the North makes new threats against the South. That's what's happening there. In the meantime, India successfully testing a new nuclear-capable missile that could hit targets in China and Eastern Europe. So what does this all mean? Why is this all happening now? Peter Brooks is Senior Fellow for National Security Affairs at the Heritage Foundation. So, Peter, let's first start with India. We were talking a lot about North and South Korea in the past couple of weeks, but India, we haven't. Why do you think they're shooting off this missile now?
Well, it's important, you know, Jenna, that we spend a lot of time talking about China, for instance, but another rising major power in the world, the international system, is India, and this launch has put focus on them. Interestingly, they have joined a very exclusive club. You know, it's now a country that has joined has intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching places like Beijing, which some commentators say is the actual intent of this missile test. You know, China is rising in Asia. India is a major Asian power. They are rivals with one another, and I think this is definitely a signal towards China from India that we're here, we need to be respected, and we're going to play a place, and we're going to have a significant place in international or in Asian security matters.
You know, we had almost an instant response when North Korea tried to shoot off its latest rocket, failed missile test. Why don't we respond with India and its tests?
Well, fortunately, India is quite transparent about it. They're also a friend of the United States. In fact, Jenna, most people don't know that India is the world's largest democracy, the most populous democracy ahead of the United States. So I don't think there's fear of India. Perhaps in Beijing there is, but the United States and many of America's allies are certainly not fearful of India. It's a different sort of society where North Korea has never really renounced its hostilities towards the United States or South Korea. In fact, we're technically still at war on the Korean Peninsula, so there's a much greater concern about North Korea, plus their record of proliferation. North Korea has shared nuclear and missile technology with the likes of Iran, probably Pakistan. Remember, the Israelis took out a Syrian facility back in 2007, even perhaps Burma. So, but India hasn't been the proliferation problem that North Korea has and currently is.
I'm going to move to North Korea in just a moment, but just a final thought on India. 60 to 100 nuclear warheads is the count that we have on record, but no one really knows for sure, Peter. And you mentioned Pakistan, so I just wonder, with India doing this now, will India provoke any sort of a response from a place like China or maybe even their neighbor Pakistan?
Well, China has reacted rhetorically, certainly, and next week we're actually going to see Russia and China have their first naval exercises. That will be in the Pacific, but that's also a bit of signaling going on from Beijing that we have other friends. Now, we usually look at India in terms of Pakistan because of the rivalry there, and sometimes, of course, Afghanistan, but this missile far exceeds what is required for a strike into Pakistan, and I think it is a bit of one-upsmanship on the part of the Indians when they look at their neighbor, since they have joined, now they have intercontinental ballistic missiles, according to reports.
Well, speaking of one-upmanship, if you will, South Korea is unveiling those new cruise missiles. We're telling our viewers a little bit about that. This is following last week's failed test by the North Koreans. Do you think this is smart policy by the South Koreans to do this now? Smart policy meaning that it's a good posturing, just as a reminder to the North Koreans, or do you think it's a little reckless at this time to do something like this?
I think it's fine. I think it's a good idea. I think we have to show solidarity and strength towards North Korea at these times because we're expecting additional provocations. Everybody's expecting another nuclear test. Kim Jong-un, the current leader of North Korea, is expected to be raised one more rank, given one more title, the title of his father, chairman of the National Defense Commission. We're expecting a nuclear test, somewhere around that. We're also expecting additional provocations. Remember, over the last couple of years, North Korea sunk a South Korean warship. It also shelled a South Korean island, and it had a failed assassination plot against the South Korean defense minister. And many people are thinking that North Korea is going to do something towards South Korea to show its strength. And so I think that South Korea is responding, and I think it's very important from the point of deterrence to tell North Korea that we're strong, that the U.S.-South Korean alliance is strong, and that we won't brook any nonsense out of them, especially hostilities or provocations.
We're going to keep an eye on that Korean Peninsula. I wish we were promoted as quickly as Kim Jong-un. Right, Peter? Not quite the same.
That's right. Four-star general.
Different situations. Peter, nice to have you as always. Look forward to having you back.
Thanks, Jenna.
And